Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's Mary, and I am 2 days late with Saturday night shenanigans, but I'm sure you guys will forgive me. I was dropping my son off at college, and I have a great co-host this week. Check it out, guys. Welcome, Savannah. Hi,
Hello.
Savannah. Thank you for joining me.
Thank
And
you
check,
for having
and check
me.
it out, guys. She's not crying. She is,
Surprise. This is a
right?
rare moment
Yes, it is a
for
rare
your
moment.
channel only, Mary.
I
That's the
know.
only time.
She is not crying, guys. So
Uh,
I
you
know.
wait. We got a lot of time left together, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So, girl, my first question to you is what the fuck made you decide to do Love During Lockup and put you and Jake's story out there for the world to tear apart?
Yeah,
'Cause
good
Have
question.
you ever seen the show before?
I've seen Love After. I'd
Right.
watched that. But I didn't that was before like I was even in the prison world. Like I had seen it before Jake and I were even together. So I'd seen that.
So
And I love reality TV, to be honest. So
okay, so who were the couples during the season you watched?
Michael and Sarah and Megan.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just did the update with Michael, Sarah, and Megan.
Yes, and I haven't seen it yet. So maybe I
Okay.
need to check that one out.
Yes, you do. Yes, you
Mhm.
do. Very interesting.
I'm
Okay.
excited. And then Tracy and Clint, may she rest in
Oh, yes. May Tracy rest in peace.
yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Those are
That's
the two that I really remember. Those were the ones that I was like, oh my God, about, you know what I mean? Oh, and then of course my Iowa Bonnie and Clyde. You remember that?
oh my God. Yes, of
He
course.
he reached out to me on Instagram actually and was like, hey, cool to see another Iowa couple on here, whatever, da, 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 da. And then invited me to be a part of like a mental health seminar that he's doing. I'm like, have you seen the show? Do I look like the poster child for mental health? I don't know. What is you really want me?
John, she may not be the poster child for mental health, John. Just saying. But
I'll come.
hey, Savannah will come, you know. I mean, girl, honestly, they make you guys look like a hot mess so far.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so
Oh yeah.
now you just admitted that you watched Love After Lockup. Okay. So what made you think it was a great idea to have you and Jake put your relationship out there for the world?
I never said it was a great idea. Let's say
Okay.
that. I
Okay.
never during this entire process thought this is going to go well.
Okay.
That was never my intent with it. To be perfectly straightforward, in the 3.5 years that Jake and I have been together, we have exhausted every possible thing that we can do to bring attention and awareness to his sentencing, to
Okay.
mandatory minimums. We have tried it the right way.
Right.
We have tried all of the legalities. We've followed all of the rules, and obviously it hasn't worked because his ass is still in prison. And so I guess like this is the biggest, I'm going to get friggin' creamed for saying this, but this is like the biggest break that we've had. Like, it's my big break. No, it's not what I'm envisioning, but like, it's the first opportunity where there's any possibility that people can
This
hear
is a
about.
bigger platform.
That's the word. That's the
Right.
platform. This is the biggest platform and the biggest opportunity that we had to talk about mandatory minimum sentencing and to talk about his commutation, knowing full well that that probably wasn't going to be what drew in the viewers. Like, it's not the drama of the season, but there are tidbits of it that's sprinkled in there that you're like, wait, what the fuck? Like, he was 18 years old and he was sentenced for this long. And people have all of these conspiracy theories. People have all of these reasonings of why they think it is. But the truth is that Iowa's fucked up. Like, the state of Iowa is fucked up. Any state that has mandatory minimum sentencing is fucked up. So that's kind of the reason that we wanted to highlight it. And it was like whatever, like, why not? right? Like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
You felt like you had nothing to lose because you tried going, like you said, the right way
Yeah,
and it wasn't working.
exactly. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So Jake agreed to do this. And how did his family feel? Did his
Um,
family know that that this was sort of your intentions with doing the show?
um, that's a really tough thing to answer. I wouldn't even say that Jake really agreed to do the show, to be honest.
Okay.
He thought the same as me, that like it'd be a really good opportunity and a good platform. And as there's elements of truth that like I am kind of the person who drives a lot of action in our relationship. I kind of tell him what to do sometimes.
Right.
And so we agreed to this. And at first, there were specific members of his family that were on board, that actually started the process and, spoke to the people that were involved and were on board for it. But then when the time came, decided that it wasn't something they wanted to be a part of.
Okay.
That they weren't in support of it.
Okay.
So that is where a lot of, the drama comes in of not wanting to talk to me. Is really having to do with like the show itself. So
right.
Yeah, being straightforward and like
right. So originally there was some family members that were on board, they were cool, and then they weren't cool anymore. And that's basically the drama.
Exactly.
Okay. So why are you so insistent on getting married to Jake? And this kind of concerns me because you don't you know him, but you don't know him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm insistent on getting married to him anymore.
Okay.
This is not something that is like super on my radar. A lot of the reason that I was so gung-ho about it, may not be the reasonings that are portrayed on the television screen.
Right.
I kind
editing, but
thank you. I don't know if I could say that, Mary. I'm like,
don't worry, I got you.
Okay,
you.
good.
Editing.
Shout out
Editing.
to my lawyer that is like watching right now. I told him I'd shout him out if he's actually watching to make sure I don't shoot myself in the foot and say the wrong thing. But yes.
I got her. Savannah's lawyer. I got her. Don't worry. I do this. I do this, and I got you. Yes. So and this is why I like bringing the cast members on so they could clear up and clarify a lot of the things that are shown on TV that are edited and chopped up and made to seem a certain way when they really aren't in real life. And this is why I like to bring the cast members on. And I understand the NDAs also. So
absolutely.
I got you. I got you. Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Don't worry. Now, when it came to you guys doing the show, Jake's family, they were on board, and they were like, we're not, we're not crazy about this. Okay. So now I'm assuming now Jake is kind of stuck in the middle.
Yes. 100%.
Okay. Jake is kind of stuck in the middle, but he's still going forward with this because this is the best way to have his story heard.
Exactly. Like he has the exact same feelings as me that like we have tried everything in the ways that we can, in ways that like are not blasting it out on the internet. And now here we are with this crazy platform to be able to do it. And so like there's a little bit of like there was distrust in the process 100% from both of us, but we're like, him and I came into it as a unit, and we told each other before this week of filming, which was like, we found out we were going to be on the show. And then 2 weeks later they were here. Like it was insane. And then we just did it. Like it was just a full week of just nonstop.
So how was the filming process? Like how to have cameras in your face and like, how was all of that for you?
That is such a loaded question. I have nothing but like respect and love for the 9 people that I like worked with every single day that were like, taking care of me and like, working with my family and the people that I care about. I have nothing but respect for them. I have nothing but respect for like the producers, like the top dogs up there that would like communicate with me because they're doing their jobs, right? Like that's what I had to keep in mind a lot of the time is that they're doing their jobs, but they also have to understand that like I have a real life to live and I have real consequences that come with some things if I do or don't do them.
And this is a common theme with a lot of the cast members.
Yes.
This is a show, but they also have a real life behind the show, and there's consequences that come with it. Yes.
And I'm such a rule follower, like contrary to popular belief, like of, he's an inmate, whatever, like whatever, other people are not so much rule followers. I'm a true rule follower. So I did not risk anything during the show filming that would get Jake in real trouble, like with his prison. It's just not worth it to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not worth 5 years that we're going to spend together if he's in the hole or if he's not able to be talking to me just for this 1 week. Like that's just not worth my time. It's not something I'm interested in. So the filming process was like, it was fun, right? Like it's kind of cool and it's fun and it's new and it's different. But like I loved all of the people that I got to work with and I got to meet. It's so unique. Like I'll never get the opportunity again. So that was cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to go back to when you first met Jake on the show. You said you were studying for a role to become, you were studying for a role for a wife of an inmate.
Yeah.
And did you send out an email? Like, how did Jake respond to this email? What was this email? How did you find him? Tell me more.
Yes. Okay. So, actually shout out to my podcast too. I know you've shouted it out on your Instagram. Thank you. The full-fledged version of that is available on there if anybody wants to check it out. It's called To Accept This Call. Basically, I reached out to somebody different in prison to start.
Okay.
I reached out to a different person in Iowa who already had a wife who was doing life in prison. And I was like, interested in hearing more about it through them. And then I see in these like Facebook prison wife groups that there's like a wealth of knowledge. So I joined all of those. And then I saw his girlfriend at the time. Well, it was his fiance at the time. And she was posting their love story and she was talking about how great he was and his petition and all of these kinds of things. And I was like, dang, this guy really seems like he's about what he says he's about. Like he's so cool. And then, after they broke up, I had reached out, sent an email, and I was just like, hey, I know that the holidays are super hard for people that are in prison. I just want you to know, like, I'm on your side. I hope that this commutation goes well for you. And he literally said, we say this all the time. It's so funny. He goes, what's up? Who's this? What's up? Who's this? Like, I don't know this girl. I was like, oh my God. And so we just started talking and I like formed a friendship with him. And I was so guarded of like, I'm not letting this man into my life in any capacity. I do not like him. He's an inmate. There's nothing, I was
like, back off. Yeah.
Like, get away from me.
Yeah.
Get away from me. And then he like creeped his way in and then we fell in love and we've been together ever since. But at first it was like, I was like, who are you? Like, I get that you say what you're about, but like, I don't trust you. You're an inmate, like, oh, all these kinds of things. But now I know him better for sure.
Okay, Savannah. So you and Jake are working on this commutation application. And if he was to get released from prison tomorrow, what's the first thing you want to do with him?
Have sex.
Of course. I mean, besides have sex.
I don't know what the
dumb
question is.
Dumb question. Besides sex, dumb question.
You're so funny. What would be the first thing I want to do?
Besides sex, yes.
Okay. Let me think. I have to like get past that in my head. I would say I want to do like normal things with him. I want to just be able to like go to the grocery store together and like pick out what we want to eat for dinner and then come home and make dinner. We don't want to live together when he first gets out of prison. We don't want to introduce that into our relationship right away. So it'd be kind
very
of like,
smart, very smart.
Thank you.
That is very smart.
The situation. We don't want to do that. It's just like reintroducing the idea of what it is like to like date him and see what he's like in the real world. Like that's what I want to do. Yeah.
There you go. That is really, I'm really happy to hear you say that, because there are so many girls, as soon as their guys get out, they're ready to get pregnant. And it's like, wait a second, hold up. So I'm glad to hear that you changed your views on marriage, because you were ready to celebrate your 50th anniversary. And it was like, girl, hold on a second.
Yeah.
So what made you change your views about all this?
I think that, like, honestly, I think that Jake, like, gets to me, right? Like, he's explained to me many, many times prior to what other people think, that he does want to marry me and that he will marry me one day. He's just not going to do it while he's in prison, because he doesn't want that to be his wedding, his marriage. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. This is a partnership. This is an equal thing. Like, you're allowed to want to have your special day be special too. And I get it that you don't want it in a visiting room. So, like, he has been very patient with me and very understanding, like, and saying, girl, slow the fuck down. We're not going to do that. I'm like, you're right. Fine. Like, I just get too ahead of myself. So he's the logical one, Miss Mary. He's the logical one in our relationship.
Miss Savannah, if he's the logical one, then why are you always crying? I know everyone wants to know. It seems like you're always crying, girl.
I'm always crying. I cry all the time. I can't. I cried today at work because my students were doing something so beautiful, and I watched it and I was like, I just love you guys. Like, you're just so great. I'm literally bawling my eyes out, and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, no,
no,
great kids. Yeah, I cry at everything, and it just, I have no problems with that. Like, you gotta get it out. It's good for your body to cry, but I cry all the time.
Nothing wrong with crying. Take it from menopausal Mary right here, who cries at everything too.
Yeah,
I cry at commercials. I cry at
menopause.
You're probably PMSing all the time, girl. Those hormones, they have no idea what the hell the hormones do.
No.
And by the way, Tish is in the chat and she says you look pretty, girl.
Thank you, Tish. That's sweet. I'm glad I look pretty here, because I look like a freaking beluga whale on the show. They beached me for that one.
Oh my God, girl.
People say I'm a catfish. That's like my favorite criticism I've got so far, is that I'm a catfish.
You just read my mind. I was going to ask you, so how has been the social media feedback for you?
I think it's hilarious. I friggin' die. Someone said that I give Napoleon Dynamite vibes, and I've never been more honored. I have never been more honored.
Savannah's like, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And me and Jade send each other like this all the time. Like, just dance. Like, I think it's funny. There are some that are hurtful every once in a while, but they're not the ones that people think that they are. Like, it's the things that when people try to hurt my feelings, I'm like, it's so funny. If there was more of like me in the show that was being portrayed, I'd feel differently. But like, I hate who I am on the show too. Like, I would make fun of me too. You know what I mean?
So Savannah's sitting there making fun of herself.
Literally. I'm like, you're right. And I'm like, there was this one in this last episode, they did me so dirty. Like, I'm just sitting there probably listening to one of the producers, and I'm like this when I'm driving. You gotta close your mouth, dude. Like, what are you doing? It's embarrassing.
They always catch the worst shots of you guys. It's like they do it on purpose. They do it on purpose. And Tish said, not to feel bad, that she looks like a swollen tomato.
No, you don't. Tish, you're beautiful. Me and her are gonna have to get together. She reached out to and was like, let's go get a drink. Like, we're literally 45 minutes away from each other, so we need to, for sure.
Oh yes, you girls need to meet up. Definitely. So what's in your 5-year plan, Savannah? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Holy shit, I don't know. I can't even get through this week.
You're one of those people. Let me get through this week. Don't ask me about 5 years from now. Let me get through this week, bitch.
And it's funny because like when I would talk to the producers, I was like, if you want my real week, you're gonna have to follow me at work for 65, 70 hours of the week, like, and watch me write emails and go to meetings. Like, that's the truth of my life, you know? 5 years though. Damn, that's a good question.
Do you want kids? do you picture yourself married with children?
Well, the way that things currently are with Jake's sentence, that's kind of not a possibility. So no, like so much of me right now is focused on my career and my life, like independently growing and building the best that I can. So like I'd
Mhm.
love to be in Chicago. That's one for sure. I'd love to be working my way up. Like I could see myself at the company that I'm at now in 5 years, but ideally, like I'd love to be in a bigger city doing bigger things. So
Now, what do you do for your day job again?
I work as a director of operations for a performing arts company here in Iowa City. So we own 3 entities. That's like a small performance theater. We have the Iowa's largest dance studio, and then we also just opened up Iowa's first performing arts boarding high school. So I do a lot of shit. I wear a hat. Like I manage all of that and make sure that it runs smoothly.
And is Jake taking classes in prison? Has he earned a degree? Did he learn what has he been doing?
You should see his list of accomplishments. Like, I'm not even kidding. I can't go through all of them. If anybody does want to watch his commutation too, for the record, where he outlines that, it's on YouTube. Like I posted it so that people can see and hear from him himself. But he has earned his AA degree. He has plenty of college credits for his bachelor's degree. He just can't get it in college or in prison because they don't allow that. He's a teaching assistant for the college there. He does all of the carpentry, TAing. He's just so multifaceted. Like I can't even keep up. He's more busy with his routine every day than I am. Like he does more shit than I do. So
Wow.
that says a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that does say a lot. Um, so when you were meeting with your lawyer about the
Yes.
commutation application,
Yes.
you were talking about, how when Jake was younger, he was, wasn't so calm as he is now, and he had to be shackled to the floor. And I
Yes.
know a lot of the fans were like, whoa,
I
what the
know.
fuck?
I know.
So what was going on during the trial that he just like,
I can show, like, anybody who wants them, let me send you the transcripts and you can read them because I read through all that shit and it was insane. Like okay, did you follow the Darrell Brooks case in Wisconsin? The guy who was like a peaceful inhabitant and he was like, that's not my name. I relinquish it back to the state. Did you ever watch any of that?
yes.
And he was so shitty to the judge. That was Jake. That was him when he was 18 years old, being a piece of shit in the courtroom.
Oh my
Like
God.
he was terrible. And he was like saying that he was gonna kill everybody in there. And then he was so combative, like so argumentative, just threatening violence. Like
But why? What was going through his head at the time to think that this was going to do anything or besides make things worse?
I know that's a good question. Like nobody could tell him anything when he was 18 years old. He thought he had it all figured out. Clearly he didn't, as he's arrested for first-degree robbery, but he really thought that like he was the king of the world. And sometimes he still thinks that. Like sometimes he gets a thought in his head and he like cannot be told otherwise. Even if it's something like so stupid, I'm like, okay, dude, great. Well, figure it out on your own. Make that mistake then. But he like, as much as it's dumb to say, he did not have a good home life growing up. His dad committed suicide when he was in jail when
Wow.
Jake was 8 years old, he committed suicide for this, and he was going to go to trial for the same crime that Jake committed. So if that's not a cycle, I don't know what is. And so I guess he's trying to like fulfill a prophecy of some kind, maybe trying to skirt responsibility and learn from people who he shouldn't have been learning from, which were the adults in his life at the time. He takes full accountability for it and thinks he was so stupid. Like there's no excuse for his dumbass behavior, honestly.
And that honestly, do you think that has anything to do with why his commutation was denied by the governor?
No, I think that the reason that his commutation was denied by the governor is because when he was 16 years old, he committed a very similar crime to the crime that he committed when he was 18. And the reason that I think that is because that's what she said in her letter. She said, I cannot commute your sentence due to the fact that you were on probation for a similar crime at the time that you committed this.
Oh,
And that's fair. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, though, at the same time, she's never commuted anybody's sentence. Iowa has the lowest commutation rate in the United States. Like, nobody ever gets their sentence commuted, and nobody ever gets 5 out of 5 yes votes. That was like unheard of for the Board of Parole. Like,
Right.
we did not expect that whatsoever. Like, he's great and I hoped it, but I never expected it. So
Right, exactly.
yeah. So he did. He committed a similar crime when he was 16. He had this history and pattern. Like,
How many times was he arrested before this particular crime when he was 18?
I would say he was arrested only a couple of times, but he was having like run-ins with the law because he
Right.
was a minor. So I don't
Right.
really know what would be considered arrested, but
Right.
I'm not going to say he was living like a good life. He was being a piece of shit. He was a shitty little teenager
Right.
out of high school. Like, yeah, all of that.
Right. Wow.
And now it's so weird because if you see him, you're like, what did this guy do? Like, he is so different. It's funny to, like, when people hear about him being shackled, they're like, him? Like, he's kind of tiny too. Like, he's really short. And so
Right.
people are like, what the fuck was he gonna do? Like, people were scared of him. He doesn't like that very much.
I could imagine he wouldn't like that very much.
No.
So if there is one thing that you could say that you love the most about Jake, and one thing that annoys the fuck out of you about him, what would it be?
It's easiest to start with the one that's the most annoying because I think about that one all the time. Probably exactly what I just said, which is that he sometimes gets into this like hyper independent mode where you can't really tell him anything, and that he thinks that he knows the best for himself. And I just don't think that that's fair. Like, he's been in prison since he was 18. So he doesn't really know the world. He doesn't know what the real world is like. So if I try to tell him anything about the real world, or if I try to tell him about like what healthy social emotional learning is, he doesn't sometimes want to hear it. So that's annoying. He thinks he's the shit. And I guess it obviously is easy to talk about the things that I love about him too, but I think that like, it's kind of contradictory to what I just said, but like, he is somebody who is never satisfied, who can never stop learning and growing. His pursuit for success is never ending. Like, you will never see that man just stay stagnant in any way. He's always trying to be better. He's always trying to like level up in life. Right. And that's something that is like so remarkable. And it's not even just that he talks about it. He's actually about it. He's about what he says he's about. And that is like, you can't find that in many people.
And he's the best sex you ever had.
Yeah.
Your words.
I said it.
You said it. Girl, he has to be something. He has to be something if he's the best sex you ever had and you haven't even had him yet.
Either he is something or everybody else was nothing. It's one of the two, right?
That's true. Yep, that is true. So at this episode, you are meeting up with his friend Tim.
Oh my God. Yes.
Okay, to try to like, get help for the commutation application. Mm-hmm. And like, Tim lasted 2.5 seconds in the diner before he left. Like,
he said, bye.
What the fuck was that all about, girl?
See ya.
Did you scare him or something? Like, what the fuck?
It was probably my buck teeth. That's what everybody said.
Stop it.
It's probably because I'm a cop. That's also probably what it is that I'm a cop. No, that's so funny. Again, I would love if it was shown in the order of how things.
Okay. Yeah, because it looked like he walked in, he sat down, and he said, "Peace, bitch."
And he walked out.
I told the producer, I can't do this. Peace.
I know. It's so funny. I think so. It took a lot to get Tim to come, to be honest. It took a lot. And it took probably 6 to 10 other people before we got to Tim.
Okay.
Who I should meet up with in Waterloo.
Okay.
And so Jake had not talked to him in probably 20 years.
Okay.
20 years.
And you call this guy up and say, hey, you want to meet the strange chick and appear on national TV?
Exactly. And he said, yeah, let me show up in my wife beater and I'll be there for you. And he said, I don't know what he thought he was going to do. But I also was like, what can he tell me other than that when Jake was 10, he stole a bike or something? Because that was the last time that they talked, was when Jake was 10 years old.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I think, to be honest, I think that he was feeling overwhelmed with the situation because he had a lot of things and people around him that he was not used to. And I had a conversation with him after the fact, like privately. And I was like, I don't care. Like, you do whatever you need to do. It doesn't bother me. And he even told me, he's like, I have nothing but good things to say about Jake. That's the problem, is that he's like, I can't give anybody what they need because and I could show you the text that says it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So the guy was like, I can't do this.
He's like, I have no information for you. He's like, I thought I was going to get a free meal. Like, I thought I was going to get a sandwich and a pepper.
Right.
And here I am getting grilled by the feds. I'm like, like, I'm a detective, put on my freaking monocle or whatever.
Exactly. Sherlock Holmes over here wanting to know what the fuck is going on. I
was pretty embarrassed about that. I was like, are you kidding me? This guy just walked out again. Like, another one. So.
Yep. It's like, peace out. Okay, girl. Your Jake binder.
Oh, yeah.
You still have it, of course.
Yes, somewhere. It's probably in my Jake bin that I have.
You have a Jake bin? Okay, what's in the Jake bin?
It's everything that Jake owns because he had to scale down in prison. Like, they made him get rid of a bunch of stuff. So he sent me out like everything he's ever owned, like his college degrees, his pants, his his photos, his memorabilia, his letters that he's got from his family members. Like, it's all in this Jake bin. Any shoes, like all of that is in there. That's in there. And then any pictures that we've taken, like at visits and stuff, is in the Jake binder, is in the photo album, just as like that's all that we have together. You know what I mean? So yeah. People think, what's so bad? Tell me, Mary, what is bad about the Jake binder? What's crazy about the Jake binder? I don't get that.
I don't think there's anything crazy about the Jake binder. You're keeping all the letters and the pictures together in one central place. You're trying to keep it organized. I don't think there's anything crazy about the Jake binder.
I needed to hear that.
You're trying to keep things organized. You did mention that Jake was engaged twice. Okay, so do you know what happened with these prior relationships?
Yes, of course I do. Because when you're in a relationship with somebody, you talk to them about stuff. You don't it's not as if the first time that you are discussing these things is when you're on national television. But yes, when his first fiance was a girl that had written to him on Write a Prisoner, the website.
Okay.
She was from a different country.
Okay.
They were together for like 3 years and then they broke up because she was in a different country and like time does what time does. And it just didn't work out. The second girl, it did not work out because she cheated on him with his best friend that got released from prison and had a baby with him.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. That'll kind of kill a relationship right there.
I think so too. I think that was probably the one that did it in, that sealed the deal.
Yeah, having a baby with somebody else, especially his best friend, yeah, that'll kind of do it every time.
Yep. So that's why that one ended. And I'm grateful for that. So
yeah. And when it's your time, it'll be your time and you're patient.
Exactly. I'm patient.
There you go. So do you want to talk about the rest of the episode?
Yeah, if
Friday's episode,
you want to, we can. Yeah.
Sure. So let's start with Raneka and Asonte. So when we last left off with them, Raneka's friend was playing detective. Speaking of detective, okay, and she spotted some phone numbers under some post, and Raneka's like, "What's up with this?" And he's like, I can't be the post detector. I can't be keeping track of all this these girls. And her friend's calling him out. Her friend is calling him out from the background.
Good friend.
But he has some power over her because before you know it, she's throwing kisses at him.
I know that she just let it go. She's like, he's too cute. Like, I can't deal with it. Like, it just, whatever he said was going to be fine to her. And I get it.
But her friend is like, oh my God, Raneka, stop it. But now Raneka has bigger problems because it turns out Asonte collected some charges while he was still in jail.
I know.
And he, and he wasn't going to be released on the day, that she was expecting. She's getting ready. She's packing to go to the hotel because she's thinking she's going to pick up her man. And she gets a call and he's like, listen, I got some charges. And he's like dragging. He's not telling her the whole story because he knows she's going to be pissed because he was doing dirty in jail, which I don't understand why. If she's sending him money, she's maintaining him, and he's doing dirty business in jail.
It's criminal thinking, Mary. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Some people, what was his original sentence? Do we know like how long he was originally supposed to be in prison for?
I don't remember offhand, but he was served. He served for 4 years.
4 years. That's like a shorter bid. You know what I mean? I don't think that people can really change their ways in that amount of time. That's
Right. So he got himself caught up in some dirty business, got himself some additional charges, but Raneka doesn't play when it comes to her man. She was calling judges. She was calling sheriff departments.
Yeah.
Finding out everything. I can see you doing
a judge's number. Can you just look that up? Can you just Google them? I'm gonna Google one right now. Should we call one up? I don't know.
That shit made me laugh. She was like, hello, judge.
And he's like, yes, it's me. What is who is this? Nothing like, yeah, hey, judge. Oh my God. She just got him on speed dial.
And then all I have to say is, did she say LaTisha? What is that, French? Like, what the fuck? I was like, wait, what did she just say?
So nonchalant. She was like, my boyfriend LaTisha. What? This is a conspiracy. Maybe it's a new boyfriend that she has. Maybe.
Like, what the fuck what did she just say?
I don't know.
Is that French for something that I'm missing?
Season,
I'm like, what the fuck?
Next season on Love After Lockup, Love Vegetable.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So he got conspiracy, he got trafficking, he has all these charges that he's racked up. And she called around, and as long as they post bond, he could be out by Monday. But he's pissed. Why is he pissed, Savannah? What the fuck? She just called up a judge. She woke up a judge for him.
Oh my God.
He's like, hello, judge. My man LaTisha needs to get out. And he's mad. It's like, what the fuck?
I don't know. What is it? Was he mad because he had to spend the extra days or whatever?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He was like, ain't nobody trying to have that. And she's like, what do you mean?
2 more days. You'll be fine.
I just woke up a judge for you. Come on.
I gave your government name.
Right? On national TV. Come on, LaTisha.
LaTisha, get with the program.
Like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
So he's going to get bonded out on Monday. He's not happy. And she's like, hello, don't you care?
Yeah. I felt bad when she was crying though. I got to stop.
I know. You guys are bonding in that moment. Yes. Okay. Now we're getting to our girl Tish and her husband.
Her husband.
Do you think
her husband? You think that's her husband, or is that just her boyfriend? Or I can't tell.
I don't know, me either. I think it's her husband.
Yeah. But that's honestly,
what do you guys think? Is that her husband?
Is that her husband? It must be. But don't forget it. Like, she's making that very clear. Like, that's my husband. So if anybody's ever like trying to, get in their DMs or whatever. Like,
exactly. That is
good
my
for her.
husband. That is
Good
my
for her.
husband.
Yep. Say
So
it louder, Tish. Say it louder.
she just came out from their visit. She could still smell him on her. And she's like, oh, his kisses. I can imagine what that mouth can do. That mouth can do other places.
Eat a good bowl of spaghetti.
Yep. Oh my God, girl. During that little snippet when she was talking about her food fetish, watching her man eat and that how that turned her on and she can't wait to watch Keith eat. You had to see the look of my husband's face. He was looking at that like, what the fuck is she talking about?
It made me hungry. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it made me hungry too.
But I could down some spaghetti right now. What a shrimp. LaTisha, will you feed me some shrimp, please? Something like the way she described it. She's a storyteller for sure.
Yeah, she is. She is very descriptive. She is very descriptive. Oh my God. She says that they be in Keith's DMs and all sugar mamas and everything be DMing him. Don't they realize that you are the one that you girls are the ones that are controlling their social medias? Like, what the fuck?
And people say we're delusional and we're stupid.
Oh my God. Hello.
You're the what do they? I don't know what they think. And
like,
also, like, is that really gonna do what you think it's gonna do? Like, is sending your boobs to one of our boyfriends, like, is that gonna be like, oh my God, like, I'm in love with her. I'm gonna leave my woman because you showed me your boobs. Like, we have boobs too.
Exactly. And they've seen your boobs, and I'm sure they've seen other body parts of you guys. And trust me.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
They're covered, ladies.
So she gets back to the hotel. She gets a call from one of her friends, and it turns out one of Keith's baby mamas is trying to start shit, acting like she never heard about a marriage by proxy. I'm sure you have heard. Oh, this is so familiar to you. Do you want to explain what a marriage by proxy is to those out there who may not understand? And this is and therefore explain that LaTisha is actually married to Keith.
Yeah. Basically, like, Mary and I could get married and she could just say that she's Jake if we go to a certain state or whatever. And then that's the law. Like, it's just you're giving permission for somebody else to stand in the place of your marriage or sign for you, for example, a proxy. Right. So it's legally binding. It's legitimate. It's real. Like, she did it. I've seen the license. LaTisha posted it. Like, they're together. They're married. Don't worry.
Exactly. Don't worry about it. They are officially married. And she said she will feed you Hot Pockets.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Okay. She'll feed you Hot Pockets. Okay. It's all good here. So one of the baby mama is trying to question the marriage. And she's like, fuck this. I'm going to tell Keith, my husband is going to check his baby mama. Okay. Yeah. So my husband is going to be checking the baby mama. Now, Jade and Chris.
I love them.
I last week, his family was giving her the hard questions.
Yeah.
They really think she's a gold digger. And Jade was telling Chris, your family was asking me questions. Her sister said, they kind of like think that she's a gold digger. And Chris is like, yeah, well, everything's in my name anyway.
That's like, I mean,
and Jade felt like he was like, trying to stick it to her.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know this, Chris. What, do you have to like remind me that everything is in your name? Do I have to like worry?
He could have had a better response. Absolutely. I don't think he meant it. Like, I think he meant it to like defend her honor of like, well, that can't be it because like, she's not manipulating me by putting things in her name, but like, it just didn't read on television the way that I think that it actually was meant to be. But yeah, I like, this is the thing too, is that there's so many things that are easily researchable, things that you can look up. Like in the state of Florida, they're married. Like, what is his is hers. What is hers is his. Like, who cares whose name is on it? Who cares?
Right. Exactly. But she feels like he's throwing things in her face that aren't necessary and it's not leaving a good taste in her mouth.
Yeah, I get that. He could have handled that situation way better. I love Jade. Like, I think she's like my girl. Like, I love her. And I respect any choice that she makes, because there's no amount of money. People who say she's a gold digger, there is no amount of money in the world that would make me want to sit through a prison relationship if I didn't care for and love that person. Like, let's be real. All the bullshit that comes with this is not worth any amount of money.
Honestly, I think she would have been gone years ago. She would have got everything she could have out of the first couple of years if she didn't care, and she would have been gone.
If that's what she was trying to do.
Exactly. If she was a gold digger, in my opinion, if she was a gold digger, she would have been gone 3 years ago.
100% agree.
So now we move on to Andy and Britney, and he is going for a visit with Britney's daughter, Gracie. And this is awkward.
That was painful.
I felt bad for Gracie. That girl did not want to be in the car with him.
But I don't think it was him though. Like, I don't think it had anything to do with him. I don't think that he personally made her uncomfortable. It's just a fucking weird situation.
I'm gonna say the situation made her uncomfortable.
Yeah,
her mother was making her go with this person she didn't even know. And then I'm pretty sure when Andy went to the bathroom, her mother was telling her, you know, I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna live with him, we're gonna be a family. And she was like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is too much. Like, wait a second, mom. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I have a feeling that was the first time that Britney really told her daughter what was going to happen. And that's what we saw in the car.
And we don't know, like, what Britney, like, growing up, we don't know if that's like a pattern for her to bring in these multiple men into her daughter's life. I don't know.
Good point. Yes, we don't know. Yes.
And if it is, Gracie's probably like, again, like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, can't we just focus on us? Like, why does there have to be another person involved? Like, it could have been something like that. That's kind of what I'm filling the blanks in.
Me too. Yes.
Like, maybe we should just focus on mending your and my relationship instead of adding in another party into the situation.
Right. And then what Britney said, that her kids come first, that makes me feel like it was, you know, that even more. That her daughter was just like, Mom, why are you bringing this third party into our relationship? You're coming home. Let's concentrate on us. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So now finally we have Britney and Key Rock.
Yes.
And all I have to say is EB needs to get a life and a job.
Oh my God. Who has the time? Who has the time?
EB, way too much time. EB has way too much time. Like, what the fuck? And I don't get where all this mistrust for Britney comes from, because am I mistaken, or didn't Key Rock cheat on her first? Key Rock came out of segregation, cheated on her. She was released. Key Rock had broken up with her. They were broken up. She hooked up with somebody else. They were broken up.
That's true. She says, why does she say she cheated on him though?
Because I have a feeling that Key Rock has kind of convinced her that was cheating.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be it.
You
know, I don't know. I think she seems like she has a heart of gold. Like, I truly think she loves this man.
Yes.
So, like, it's so clear to me, the love that they have for each other.
But what makes me mad about this whole EB following her situation and throwing shade on her, Britney just got out of jail herself. 6 months fresh. Okay. She's trying to put her life back together. She doesn't need unnecessary drama with this EB person following her.
No, she's trying to, like, she's got so many other things that she has to worry about, and like trying to make money while going to school. And it's like adding in this extra level of stress is truly going to get between her and Key Rock. Like, this person, EB, is going to, like, if they continue doing what they're doing, like, it's just going to drive a wedge. And Key Rock needs to realize that too. Like, he needs to understand that he can't be sending his friend, or like he needs to step up and be like, dude, you can't be doing this to my woman. Like, that's my woman, you know?
And it seems like Key Rock is kind of encouraging him to do it.
Yes, exactly.
He's like, you know, I'm standing right outside of your wifey's bar. I'm pulled up outside of the school.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
So what is the big deal? She works at a restaurant. Her hours vary. She gets home at varying hours. If the restaurant closes at 11 one night and at 3 in the morning another night, of course she's going to get home at different hours.
Yeah, I agree. Like, have they never worked in restaurants before?
Thank you. Thank you. And I get the whole thing that her teacher says everybody has a story here. Everybody has problems here. We all need to get to school on time. That I get, you know, because it's the same thing. Like if you're going to college or whatever, you can't walk in late. That I get. Yep. But the whole thing with EB saying, oh, you know, your life is unpredictable. Seems like you come home a different hour every night. Excuse me, who the fuck are you?
Someone who doesn't have a job apparently and has
right, exactly.
Pull up on somebody.
You need to take a step back. This is not right, and I don't like it because Britney is trying to settle her feet. She's trying to get her feet settled. Mm-hmm. Like, who the hell are you to like invade her space?
And it's not even like he knows her like that either. Like
exactly,
that's been like her friend forever. Like he like clearly came into it with the intention of like mistrust towards Britney. And it's like when you have that veil in front of you of mistrust already, like anything that she does is under fire. Like anything that she does is met with a critical eye. And that's not fair in a relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's not fair at all. It's not fair to her because she doesn't deserve it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, all she does is go to school, go to work, and come home from what we see.
Yeah. She is so young. Yeah.
I know.
So yeah. She's just trying to start out her life in a way different than what she set herself up for by going to jail. And like don't get mad at her for putting in the work and like
right, exactly.
And what that work comes with, which is weird hours.
And do not try to mess up with her peace. Like, don't mess with her peace.
Do not.
That is what's bothering me the most. I feel like EB is messing with her peace.
Yes. And when you're in a relationship with somebody incarcerated, your peace is always kind of on the rocks because there's a level of danger there that people forget about sometimes, right? Like, and so when you already have that element of danger kind of added in and your peace is already kind of messed up, like, don't add more to that. Especially if that's your homie, like if that's your friend.
Good point. Yes, good point. Right? Yes, good point. So before I let you go, Savannah, do you have any other misconceptions that you want to clear up that been aired so far that you sit back and you look at it, you're like, wait a second, that's not quite right?
Not anything specifically. I would just say that like, keep in mind that everything that you see on television is made to entertain you, is made to show you a story. And I think that like expressing and sharing my intention for doing the show and like what I was trying to accomplish in it, hopefully gives people a new perspective on like how they're viewing me. It doesn't bother me when people talk shit about me. It doesn't bother me. All the things that they say, I laugh along too. Like I think they're so funny. Some of the things that people say are so funny. Like I want to roast about myself, honestly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just think that like keeping in mind that this is so much of who we are on the show is a caricature of what is real. And that, you know, you've taken a slice of our lives and built that up and exaggerated it, then it's made to entertain you. And I hope it does. I hope it is entertaining to everybody. So no, I'm good.
Do you have any regrets during the show?
Not one bit.
Fantastic.
Nope. Yeah. I wouldn't do it again, but I don't have any regrets.
So do you want to talk about your YouTube channel and your podcast a little bit before we go?
Yeah. My friend Andrea and I, who met because Jake and her boyfriend were cellmates together, started a podcast about 3 years ago. It's called To Accept This Call, and it's on YouTube. And we we have been on a hiatus for a while. Like we weren't really gung ho with it in the beginning. And we just talked about what it was like to be in a relationship with somebody incarcerated and like what that looks like to support them. And I mean, I really enjoy doing it, and I really enjoy like hearing from other people and being that support system. So if anybody wants to check it out, please feel free to write to us. Andrea is super open to feedback as well. She's way cooler than I am. So talk to her.
I
And
will drop the link to her podcast or her
Thank
channel
you.
in the description.
Ultimately too, like if you watch or take in any other media of Jake and I, please watch his commutation interview that's on the internet, because like to hear from him and to see the person that he has become, coming from the man who was shackled in court at 18, or
Do
excuse
you
me,
want to tell, do you want
Yeah.
to tell the people where they can find that?
that's also on my YouTube channel.
On your YouTube channel. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. So if you take in any other media about us, let it be that. Because he really is such a great man, and he deserves the world. Like he's such a great person, and I hope that will help you see the man that I fell in love with. So yeah.
Savannah, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
had a
No
lot of
tears,
fun.
Mary. No
I know,
tears.
no tears, a big smile the whole time. Yay.
Yes, yeah.
Exclusively here, no tears. I had a lot of fun. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Yeah. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes. And keep watching. Keep watching to see if Savannah's going to cry some more.
We'll see. I probably will.
Yes. Any predictions? Savannah's going to cry.
Good
Savannah's going to
prediction.
cry. And Tish is going to say my husband at least 20 times in an episode.
Yes, probably. That's true.
Yep.
And Jade's
Okay.
gonna look gorgeous all the time. That's
Yes. Mm-hmm.
that's what it'll be.
Yep. And Raneka's going to be big diva. And that's what it's
Always.
going to be. Always. Always.
Yes. Thank you, Mary. You're the best. This was
Thank
so
you,
fun.
Savannah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And I'll see you Saturday for our usual Saturday night shenanigans. Catch you next time. Bye.